Texas Tech is set to start Big 12 play this weekend out in Salt Lake City. But what are the positions of strength and what are the positions of concern for Texas Tech as Big 12 play is officially here? In today's video, we'll look at a multitude of positions for Texas Tech, and I'll tell you if I'm concerned about them or if I'm not. And I want to hear from you guys down in the comments as well. Hey, how's it going, everybody? RC Maxfield here for the Red and Black Report. Appreciate y'all tuning in to today's video. And this was going to be a little bit of a deeper dive into some certain position groups for Texas Tech heading into Big 12 play, because I think there's a couple positions that universally within Red Raider Nation we feel pretty damn good about, right? But there's also some positions where you got to prove it to me, because I'm skeptical on some of the players within those position groups, and we'll go in depth here in just a minute. But I want to hear from you guys, as I mentioned in the open. Which Texas Tech football position group are you most concerned about headed into Big 12 play? Let me know down on the pinned comment below. I'll let you know at the end of the video my position that, well, is just very concerning to me, to say the least. But let me know down on the pinned comment below what your biggest concern is from a position group standpoint for the Red Raiders as they head in to Big 12 play. All right, let's jump into it. See it on your screen. I don't think this is a position of concern. And if somebody tells you this is a position of concern, I would very much love to hear their reasoning. In fact, no, I would not. I would not love to hear their reasoning because they simply do not know ball. This is the deepest position group Texas Tech has maybe had in the past, I don't know, decade? 15 years. This is an unbelievable position group, right? Led by David Bailey and Lee Hunter. You've also got the likes of other pro prospects in Romello Height, Skylar Gill-Howard. I love Charles Esters III. Jaden Cofield, I would have felt good if he was the starting nose guard for Texas Tech. Now he's, on your two deep, but he's back up to arguably the best nose guard in the, Big 12 and at least top 10 in the country. Then you've got A.J. Holmes Jr. and then Terrell Tillman. Cheto Feely isn't even on here. Amir Washington, Duda Banks. I mean, you are legitimately 11 guys deep when it comes to the D-line and impactful players for Texas Tech this season. It's going to be a monumental test for the Red Raiders out in Salt Lake City, most notably for David Bailey. I think he's going to be a guy that Utah offense targets specifically in the run game. That's been the biggest knock on David Bailey in terms of his pro prospects. We know he can get after the quarterback, but can he defend in the run game? That's going to be something to monitor out in Salt Lake. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal in terms of long-term this season. This position group is special. This is easily the best position group on this entire roster, and it's not particularly close, and that is a drastic change for Texas Tech this time a year ago, where we felt like maybe there was one or two guys you felt good about on the defensive line. Now it's no joke 11. It's wild how far this defensive line group has come in just about a calendar year. All right, we move on to a position that I'm interested to see if it is a strength or if it is a weakness. Because you look at the left side of the line here, and it's Howard Sampson and Will Jados for now, Sheridan Wilson, Davon Carter, and then Jacob Pont to round out the rest of the offensive line. It's going to be interesting to see if Will Jados ends up staying at left guard, because there's been some murmurs that there might be a potential, Hunter Zambrano move to the inside on that to get some, if he earns the job, he earns the job, right? And he was working his way back from injury. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. But as it stands right now, this is your starting offensive line. I think there's bright spots. I think there's some flaws, right? They have not been great in the run game. And we'll talk about the run game here in a little bit more in depth, but they have not been good in the run game. Now, in the pass game, they've been pretty damn good. They've kept Baron Morton upright. That being said, who have you played? Not really anybody, if we're being honest about it. I mean, the best pass rush you've seen this year is from Oregon State, and no offense to the Beavers, but you're an 0-3 football team in technically a conference. That wasn't supposed to be a shot. It really wasn't. I actually feel bad for you guys on that front, but you really haven't played anybody. This is your big test against Utah. Are you going to have to just repeatedly use a tight end like John Carlos Miller II as an inline blocker at the tight end spot. If that happens, that is a huge knock for Texas Tech. That being said, I don't think they will, but I do need to see some improvement specifically in the run game and the pass game. They've been good so far, but they have monumental tests upcoming in the Big 12, most notably this weekend out in Salt Lake City against the pretty formidable Utah pass rush. Now we're going to get into some positions that probably need to be discussed in terms of you got to prove a lot to me. But before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Home Field Apparel. Head on over to homefieldapparel.com. The link will be down in the comment section below, and use the promo code RBR15 to get your new favorite Texas Tech vintage t-shirt, hat, bomber jacket, hoodie, ? Winter's right around the corner, people. And if you want to stay, snug and cozy in some vintage Texas Tech apparel, Home Field Apparel is the place for you. Head on over to their website and check out the latest and greatest when it comes to Texas Tech vintage apparel. And the best part about it, you can save 15% when you use the code RBR15. All right, let's jump into some position groups that I don't know yet. I just really don't know. I'm going to start with the running backs here. And you see Michael Henderson, the third there. He moves over, was originally on the defensive side. Now he's on the offensive side due to the unfortunate injury of Quentin Joyner. I have a lot of faith in Jacoby Williams and Cam Dickey long-term. And the reason I put them at the top there and not a 1A or 1B type situation is because they split it pretty evenly here, right? I've heard a lot of people say, we need to give Adam Hill more reps. I don't think that that's the case. I think Jacoby Williams and Cam Dickey are really damn good at football. And I think that they need to get better between the tackles. We talked about the offensive line. That is a unit that I am looking to really see if they get better going into steeper competition, obviously. But Texas Tech has to get better at running between the tackles. It starts with the two guys at the top of your screen, and Jacoby Williams and Cam Dickey, maybe most notably Cam Dickey. I love his physicality. I need to see more of that. I need to see more of Jacoby Williams being a little bit more patient. I need Cam Dickey to be a little bit more patient, but I don't want them to lose that physicality. Now, Jacoby Williams has got that skirt on the outside, and he'll make you miss real quick. Shout out to the Migos, right? But he's one of those guys, don't get it twisted. He can run you over as well, okay? So these two guys, I think, are more than capable of leading the Texas Tech backfield and being successful. But that being said, there hasn't been a lot of wow plays from the run game, right? It's been more so when they get involved, specifically Jacoby Williams, it's in the pass game. You have to have a formidable run attack in the Big 12 to alleviate some of that pressure off of Behren Morton, to make defenses respect you and open up those passing lanes for Behren Morton, most notably bring the linebackers in. You can take a deep shot or two, right? That's what you need. I think these guys are more than capable, but again, you have to prove it to me. And again, a big test is this weekend against the Utes. Maybe the most interesting position group, in my opinion, going into Big 12 play is that of the secondary, specifically the DBs. And the reason being is this. I think this group is talented. I think it's much improved from last year, and damn it, it should be, right? You went out there and you added 4 guys to this unit in terms of the 3D, right? Specifically at the corners. I don't feel too uncomfortable about the safeties. I like Cole Wisniewski. I like Brendan Jordan out there, and obviously John Curry at the star spot. These are the guys I'm interested to see, because the Big 12 is not as pass happy as it used to be, but there's a lot of teams that know how to throw around the pigskin, right? And you're getting to practice against the best in Behren Morton and this Mac Leftwich offense and the Texas Tech offense specifically, right? I like these guys a lot, but we need to see that they're actually formidable, and this is an improvement from last year. I think that they are improved quite a bit, actually. Like, last year's secondary was putrid, and I mean every syllable in that word. I truly mean it. They were putrid last year. Shout out to Oklahoma State for having the worst defense in the Power 5, or Power 4, I guess now. Texas Tech was second, and it was mostly because of the secondary. You've got some guys now that are good. Bryce Pollock is coming off of a 2-interception game against Oregon State. I love the physicality, of Dante Balfour. I like Amir Boyd. Will he play after his off-the-field issues? He didn't play against Oregon State. He was suited up, but will he play out in Salt Lake City? That remains to be seen. Mo Horn has been battling some nagging injuries here and there. I like Macho Stevenson. I don't like him as a starter, but as a guy that can come in and play some certain reps for you, that's cool with me. And Terrion Grant, he's obviously got a high pedigree, being a former 5-star recruit that went to Purdue as a true freshman from the state of Tennessee. He's now out in the 806. I think he has the potential. But again, this is a really good group led by Bryce Pollock. I need to see it, though, against formidable competition, and that starts this week against Utah. That being said, there is a ton of teams that Texas Tech plays this year where I think there's going to be offenses that pinpoint this position group and say, we can exploit the Texas Tech defense there, okay? And if they can change that, the Red Raiders have a truly, truly special season on their hands moving forward, because we know what the defensive line is. We know what the linebackers are. If your secondary is good, specifically at the cornerback spot, look the hell out. You could have a really generational type defense from a Texas Tech standpoint that, I mean, it could legitimately just be a defensive first team if they are good, right? The offense is already great, but the defense could be the aspect of the game where Texas Tech just suffocates teams and gives them no hope whatsoever. But again, those are the position groups I'm looking at most in terms of strengths. Obviously, we talked about the defensive line. I think the offensive line can be a strength, but they need to prove it to me, specifically in the run game. And then the two position groups that I don't want to call them a weakness right now, but I do want to express concern in terms of, okay, they haven't been as good as I thought they were. Most notably, the run game, specifically in between the tackles. Cam Dickey and Jacoby Williams have to be better between the tackles. That obviously starts with the offensive line too, but they have to be more patient without losing an ounce of physicality. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. I'm excited. Big 12 plays here. It feels like real football is starting. Again, those first 3 games were fun and all, beating the ever-loving you-know-what out of UAPB, Kent State, and Oregon State. But we got real football on our hands, baby. We got the best game in all of college football happening out in Salt Lake City for this weekend, okay? Don't let anybody tell you different. This is the game of the week. College game day should be there. I get we get big noon kickoff, but I'm going to bitch, moan, and complain about that until I'm purple, red, whatever, blue in the face. I don't know what color they say on that saying, but I do know this. If you want 100% free content surrounding your Red Raiders, whether it's on the football field, the hardwood, basketball, less than 50 days away. We'll be talking about basketball here in the not too distant future. If you want 100% free content, everything Texas Tech football and men's basketball related, whether it's on the gridiron, hardwood, portal, high school recruiting, breaking news, and everything else, join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube and the Red and Black Squad today by simply liking the video and hitting that subscribe button. We are on our way to 13K, and I think we can do it before they tip off the 2025-2026 campaign for Texas Tech men's basketball. All right. Also, before we head out, let me know again, one more time, what position group has you most concerned for Texas Tech heading into Big 12 play? Mine is truthfully the secondary, just from the standpoint of, again, prove it to me. Maybe I have too many scars from last year and how bad that was, but the secondary is the one for me this season. All right. That's going to do it. As always, I'm RC Maxfield reminding you, stay safe and Wreck 'em Tech.